Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's Wrap Talks. We really appreciate you being here right after lunch, right? This is always the most interesting session of the day. This is a large group, so I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, but I'm guessing that most of you are somewhere on the Maximo to MAS upgrade journey. Maybe you've completed your upgrade to MAS already and still just trying to find that ROI that you're looking for, that significant investment that you made and you're looking for the return. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle in the process of doing your upgrade, or perhaps you're planning for it. Perhaps you're getting ready to do it in the next year or two. Time's running out, by the way. But you're still looking for that justification, right? That cost justification that can help you get your project approved and help you get going. So I'm here to just share with you two incredibly important aspects of that endeavor. And I really hope that what we're going to share today will help you along those journey. These are two things that I hope that you're not neglecting in your journey. And it all starts with, why do we have asset lifecycle management to begin with, right? Equipment should just last forever, never fail, and cost almost nothing to maintain. Wouldn't that be nice? That would absolutely be, life is good. Well, unfortunately, I'm here to tell you life is not perfect. This is more what reality looks like. So I'm sure some of you, or maybe all of you, have seen this chart before. Maybe some of you are very familiar with it. It's been around for a couple of decades now, but today just as relevant as ever. And if you've not seen it, trust me, someone in your organization has. There's probably someone down in the basement somewhere who has this posted up on their office wall, right? And it all starts with failure. On the x-axis, we have time. On the y-axis, we have the equipment condition. What is failure? Is failure when the equipment is broken? That was the old definition, right? This thing is done. It's broken. It can no longer be used. It needs to be repaired or replaced. Well, at least we've evolved from that years and decades ago. What we now refer to is more functional failure. So the equipment is still working, it's just not performing the function that it's intended to perform. It's not operating at its designed function. Guess what? A lot of time and money is still today being spent between those 2 points on that curve. This is a well-known fact. We're still spending a lot of time to repair equipment that's functionally failed before the point where we actually need to get it replaced. So how do we fix that? Well, first step is to realize that failure does not happen at the end. It doesn't even happen at the functional failure. It happens way earlier. And depending on what indicators we use that we track against our equipment, we may or may not be able to catch that failure. But let's say there's a point in time where we actually catch, based on indicators that we track, we catch the potential failure. Now, we're spending a lot of time and money between the so-called P to F points on that curve, between the potential failure and the functional failure. And that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you'll often find is people say, well, our job is to move P to the left, right? The potential failure needs to move to the left on that graph so that we can identify failures quicker and long before they happen. I'd like to put a little bit of a different spin on that today, because I think this is really something that you should consider in your MAS journey. How about we change the definition of P from potential to predicted? Our job is to predict failures long before they happen, long before they even become potential failures, let alone functional failures. How do we do that? And so what I want to share with you is really two things that I think are absolute critical building blocks for you to be able to do that. In order to predict failure, we need data, right? We need data, we need IoT, we need sensor data. We need all the data that we can have in a trusted, reliable format. That's one thing, but most importantly, what we need is we need a reliability strategy. And that can be reliability strategies down at the asset class level, or it's an overall asset management and reliability strategy. But without a strategy, you're not going to get very far in this endeavor. So we want to allow prediction of failures using data. And sure, if you don't do that, there's nothing wrong with staying at level 2 on the maturity curve there, which is what condition-based maintenance will get you. There's nothing wrong with that. You can monitor the condition of equipment and predict failures and fix them soon enough. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But guess what? As you're on your journey from Maximo to MAS, there's some really, really cool things available to you now that you can take advantage of. But you cannot take advantage of those if you don't have a reliability strategy and you don't have data. Those are absolute key things that you need to consider. Just real briefly on the maturity model, as you go from condition-based to predictive maintenance, you know, it's what we find sometimes is people look at the end of that journey and they say, well, we want to be in the what we call the cost optimized phase of the maturity model. We want to do everything absolutely perfectly. Well, you know, I don't think you have to. I think all you need to do and all you need to consider today is just how do I take the next step? How do I get from my condition or usage-based maintenance, just take the next step that I need in order to eventually be at a place where I can have full prediction of failure. So what's interesting is what I said earlier about data. We need trusted data. And thank you, Terence, for just sharing the results of this survey with us. This was done very recently. This is hot off the press. And a survey into people like you, and with a very, very simple question, asking, you know, how much do you trust your asset data? This is self-evaluation, and the score was 60%. I think that means it's probably lower, right? If we all self-evaluate ourselves as our data quality, the level of trust in our data is 60%, you know, it's probably going to be a little lower than that, which is shocking, but true and completely understood. Also interesting is, so what would be the reasons for that? Or otherwise, as the report here or the survey questioned, what capabilities do you need in order to increase that? How do we get from 60 to 70 to 80? What do you need? And you may instinctively think that, oh, we need more data. We need more sensor data. Yeah, of course we do. Guess what? That was not the highest response. We need better scalability of our IT solutions. Yeah, of course you do. But guess what? That's important, but not the most important. And we need AI. You know, that's the hot topic here. Everyone wants AI. Of course you need AI. Of course you should be considering it and looking at it and getting ready for it. But what does AI need more than anything? Yes, it needs technology. It needs that technology shift, but it needs data. AI does not work without data. And AI, good results, will not work without trusted data. How do you get trusted data? By far the highest score says we need our data in one place. We need a consolidated system that either shows us the data or even better, stores the data, right, all in one place. I think you can start to see the theme towards MAS now here, right? You now have the ability to do that. With MAS, you now have the ability to have one system that has all my data that I can get from various sources, and I can really put that data to use. What do I need too? So the second biggest response there was, I need an asset management strategy, or as I would like to call it, a reliability strategy. That's what I need. I need an overall strategy that guides what I'm doing and how I'm doing it so I can be successful. And guess what? There's another thing MAS can now offer you. With all the new reliability components in the application suite, You now have the ability to do all of this. You have no excuses anymore. And guess what? This is the cost justification for your MAS upgrade. So there you have it. Again, like I said earlier, most of you probably use Maximo Manage or MAS Manage. Nothing wrong with that. It works. It's great. But for you to really get the value out of that, you need to take the next step. You need to start looking at Monitor and Health. And I know many of you are doing that. Monitor and Health, great tools. Again, they need data. They need proper configuration. But they work. But if you really want to move yourself up that maturity model, up that scale, what you really have to do is start looking at reliability strategies. Like I said, both at the asset class level, but also an overall strategy, and that's available to you, and that will unlock the door for you to get to predict and being able to make proper, sound predictions on functional performance of your assets, of your equipment. Does that come easily and all by itself? No. And that's where Cohesive comes in. So again, I'm here to tell you today that help is available. You need a partner like us to be with you on this journey who can help you both in getting your data in order, your trusted data, and also getting your reliability strategy in order to really help you take advantage of the tools that you now have available. Let's explore real quick in how that actually works. There's maintenance and reliability, and those two are interconnected. All the usual ways that you perform maintenance, of course, you identify work, you plan the work, you do the work scheduling and work execution and condition monitoring, and that will make you efficient. If you do those properly and apply condition-based maintenance, that will make you efficient, and you can run your business on that absolutely no problem. However, if you really want to take the next step and you want to kind of upscale your organization, then this is what you need. You need to develop a strategy, and reliability strategies are now part of the application suite. It's available to you, and again, you need a partner to help you implement those, devise those, implement those, and really optimize those. It absolutely has to include asset criticality. You're not going to be successful if you don't do a proper criticality analysis of your assets and build that into your strategy. And then you go into optimize and predict using the data, using the strategy. Now you can apply AI. You can build a digital twin of your data, which is another topic that we love talking about. I don't have time to cover that here, but I'm hoping you'll attend some of the other, or have attended some of the other sessions we have already had on that topic. But that just opens up all these other possibilities for you. It gives you the ability to explore those and really, really take advantage of those. And then strategies always constantly need to be reevaluated. It's never static. It's never a constant. It always changes. And you need to constantly reevaluate your strategy. And then that feeds back into your EAM again, where you do work identification, planning, scheduling, and execution. And as we'd like to call it, on the left there is how you get fast. On the right is how you get smart. And guess what? You need to get smart before you get fast. That's really, really important. You can be fast alone all the time and grind away and feel like you're very efficient at executing your maintenance policy and practices, and that's fine. But if you really want to get smart, get into strategy development and build your trusted data that allows you to take advantage of the new tools. That will absolutely allow you to get smart and then get fast. How do you do that? Well, it all starts with having the tools available to you, right? And I'm happy to tell you, but you already know this, you've heard it from almost every speaker this week, the application suite has everything that you need in order to take that next step. right? There's still, is it panacea? No, you don't, there's still some work we need to do to get all the way to the end with asset investment planning and other technologies. But to take the next step on your journey, the application suite has everything that you need. But guess what? You're going to need some consulting as well. You're going to need some advisory consulting that we can provide to help you build your reliability strategy, build your asset and reliability a strategy that can drive your organization literally into getting more efficient and more effective. And you need the work processes. These things don't come pre-packaged in the tool. No, you need to have the best practices, experience, and work processes that you can learn from others who've been on this journey ahead of you that'll help you implement this. We're here to help. I'd like to conclude. I hope this was useful to you, either after you've completed your upgrade and you may be struggling to find that return on investment. This is how you do it. Those of you, even more important, struggling to find the cost justification to get started on your journey, this is really what you need in order to help you get there. This will allow you to take that next step, and the payback is absolutely there. And thank you very much. We're available to help. My contact information on there. Absolutely glad, happy to help you along your journey. Please contact us directly, or if you'd like, you can scan that QR code right now. There's lots of online resources that we have available, or you can come and visit Cohesive at the booth. I'm not sure I know the number, but you can't miss it. You just walk into the exhibition hall, and it's the big one. So I really look forward to continuing this discussion with everyone. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.